and today a really inspiring story about a combat veteran who, because of a chance encounter, became successful after his military service. Welcome to today's episode on the Success After Service podcast. I'm your host, Chris, and we have Joe here. And, we elevate and celebrate our veteran warrior brothers and sisters. And today, we're honored to have Bryan Line in studio. Bryan is a Iraq and Afghanistan combat vet and has a really inspiring story. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, sir.
Tell us a little bit about your backstory, where you grew up and your military service and some of that.
All right. Thank you guys for having me on the podcast. So I enlisted after high school, went to Fort Benning, Georgia for basic training, went to South Carolina for AIT, served for 12 years, 3 combat tours, 1 to Iraq, 2 to Afghanistan.
What did you do in the service? What was your most?
I was a mechanic, 91 Bravo. I enlisted as a 63 Sierra, but they merged all the MOSs and all of us were 91 Bravos.
Yeah, and tell me, like what was your first duty station?
I was stationed at Fort Lee, Virginia. That was where my first deployment was. That was the home of CASCOM. So we were the only FORCECOM unit on the installation. Mm-hmm. And it was a good time. We were the ones that would do hurricane cleanups and all the pickups around the area. Fort Lee was fun. Much
respect to the mechanics, to the cooks, and to finance. Right? Because without those 3 important MOSs, things do not happen.
That's true.
How long did you serve?
I did 12 years. I was in...
Yeah, you mentioned 12 years. Tell us about, the process as far as, you served, you went on to several duty stations. If I understand, Colorado was one of them. And then from there, do you still reside in Colorado with the operation that you're currently running now?
Yes, sir.
Walk us through, you served your time. It was time to get out. Talk about the transitioning process from the Army back to civilian life, and then did you always want to be a business owner?
No. In fact, I wanted to work for the man. I just wanted to put in my 40 and call it a day. I didn't want any of the responsibility of managing people and a business. So I went to school for electromechanical technology. So that is essentially a fancy way of saying that I was an industrial mechanic. Like I would work on industrial applications, but I wasn't necessarily doing anything like an electrician would do. So after I finished that, I went to work for a little while for 18 months. After that 18 months, I decided that it was time to go back to school, and because I wasn't satisfied with the opportunity to progress, so it was really limited. So after I went back to school for business management, the VA offered me that opportunity to go and get another degree. I finished that degree and hit a brick wall. I mean, I applied 100 jobs. I revised my resume 50 times. I walked around and handed out resumes. I did it all, and there wasn't really anything going on as far as the opportunities.
I think a lot of veterans can resonate with that. They're trying to find their place. They've been told by the military a lot of times that, hey, you've got this benefit, this GI Bill or whatever it is through the VA. You need to use that and kind of find a lot of veterans, including me. I had trouble determining all the skills that I had learned. I guess I didn't pick up on what skills I had learned, like leadership skills and things like that I learned in the Army. And I didn't really know how to translate that into being a civilian. So I kind of did the same thing. I took some classes and things like that. I was really trying to figure it out. And how did you finally decide, enough's enough. I need to look at a different path. I need to look at, business ownership. Maybe I don't want to work for the man anymore. All this applying and getting denied is just not for me. And I just want, I'm just going to shift gears and do it myself.
Yeah. So after about 3 months of hearing almost nothing back, just refusals and rejections, I decided that I was going to look in other opportunities. So I wanted something that had a low barrier to entry. I didn't have a lot of capital to go with. So, landscaping was an obvious choice. There was detailing was an obvious choice. So I started scrounging Facebook and TikTok and YouTube for opportunities that could maybe give me some guidance, give me some direction. then I stumbled across a Facebook post about business owners and about what they would do to finance their business, and I stumbled across Joe's comment at the bottom of the page. It was the main comment. So I scrolled down to the bottom of it, and essentially it told me that if you want to work, you got to get out there and put your nose to the grindstone and get it pumping. And I clicked on his page, and I found that he himself was a business owner. Then I found out he was a franchisor. So I reached out and spoke to him a little bit. He was very open to conversation. He was very open to working out the details. He was very upfront, told me everything that I could possibly encounter, financial hardships, the business, so on and so forth.
I remember that conversation because I remember what stuck out about that conversation was that you were a little weary, right? Because you didn't know me,
Yeah, I didn't know.
and you'd experienced rejection like a lot of us veterans do. And the thing about it is, the military does a really great job of telling us that we can accomplish the mission, right? But a lot of us as soldiers don't plan for the future. So when we get out, we don't really have a game plan. Yeah, we know we're mission driven. We know we're a good team member, but we don't really know who we are inside and what your real core strengths are. So we end up feeling lost. And a lot of us veterans who leave the military feel lost. We can't find our place in society. I remember that conversation, man. I could tell that you were about to throw your hands up. You were just tired. You mentioned something that you weren't even interested in becoming a business owner. Like you said, you wanted to
I wanted to work
work
for
for
the
the
man.
man.
Yeah.
What was it in that conversation that kind of set that light bulb off for you?
The opportunity to really be a business, to really have something that could grow, something that could expand, something that I could pass off. I never looked at it as an opportunity. I never looked at work as an opportunity to build something. I only looked at it as it was a necessity to survive.
How long have you been in business now?
On We are coming up on 1 year, just shy of 1 year.
Everybody talks about how awesome it is to own your own business, right? But what are some of the obstacles that you encountered being in business for yourself?
Wow, there's so much to learn.
Yeah.
So much to learn, so much you don't know. You need a team of people. I mean, you really need a team of people
Mm-hmm.
that are going to guide you and mentor you, and you need people that are going to tell you the hard truths. You need people that are going to be explaining that, it's not all daisies and rainbows. That there's some days that they're going to be hard days.
What are some of your successes and like these little milestones, these little stepping stones that let you know you're moving in the right direction? What are some of those things that remind you that you're making the right move?
Well, good question. So I would have to say that if I was looking at my business and my growth, I would have to say that it's I have employees now. So I manage people. I have accountants that I didn't, I never really would have thought I had an accountant. I have bookkeepers. As far as milestones are concerned, I would have to say that going from just my truck and trailer, so now we're going to look to move up. So our next step now would be a roll off or a dump trailer, something that would be more usable for multiple applications.
I started with it, as did Chris, started with a pickup truck and a trailer. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what we do, Chris and I developed a junk removal franchise in 2023, although we had been in the junk removal industry for a number of years, gathering experience before that. But in the junk removal industry, your milestones, at least for myself and Chris, was you transition from a truck and a trailer to a dump truck or a dumpster drop-off truck. Like I have a dump truck now. Chris in the Lake Norman, North Carolina area operates one of the most successful veteran-owned or the most successful dumpster drop-off companies, period, in the Iredell County, Lake Norman area. So yeah, that's a big milestone, man. Congratulations. What's on the horizon for your next goal?
My ultimate goal would be to be able to expand into new regions. So I'm currently isolated in my community, and I'd like to see myself grow and have trucks available in the surrounding areas as well.
Would you say that that's something that you like that about the Troops Haul Junk formula is that we don't necessarily require our individual locations, they can do the business owners. We basically would set their left and right limit, and give them the structure and the path forward, but they can engage how they in business how they see fit. They could be part time, they could be weekend, they could do dumpster deliveries and junk removal. They could do either or. They don't have to. They're able to pick and choose what works in their
Yeah.
geographical market. If What is it that with the Troops Haul Junk with us? What is it that you like about the system that we have in place? Is that something that you like? Is that clear path, the direction? What else is it that you that aspires you to be with Troops Haul Junk, happy with Troops Haul Junk, and want to grow with Troops Haul Junk?
Well, I really like the foundation that was laid. Like you already had the uniform was established. So, and I'm a uniform guy. I love uniforms. So
The
really like,
turnkey aspect where everything's kind of laid out for you. You don't have to start from the bottom. You don't
yes.
have to. You can.
Well, before we continue on to the next question, we're going to hear a word from our sponsor.
Are you a veteran or first responder looking to own your own business? Troops Haul Junk offers a unique, highly lucrative opportunity in the fast-growing junk removal industry. As the only junk removal franchise exclusive to veterans and first responders, we provide all the training and ongoing support you need to succeed. No experience required. Join a mission-driven team today. For more information, visit troopshauljunk.com and click Franchise Opportunities.
Yeah, what do you like about this business being so turnkey for a guy like you?
Everything was already established. Like Chris said, I had my left and my right limit, and I knew that everything in the between it was for me. So by that I mean that the truck wrap was already established. I already knew that I needed a black trailer or an OD green trailer. I knew that I needed I know I needed veterans to help expand my business because we require a veteran on the truck. It's not just anybody out there can do what we do. I mean, anybody can do junk hauling, but not everybody can be a Troops Haul Junk.
Well, I'll tell you, it was a long time coming to that because I mentioned in previous podcasts that there was a lot of mistakes that we made. Both Chris and I made a ton of mistakes, but you get the benefit of all of those mistakes.
As we made these mistakes, we literally would have conversations till late at night about the mistakes that were made or the positives of our days, and we would basically document things that had gone wrong in our way. We would document these, and then when we were writing our operations manual for guys like you,
Right.
as they come on, we wanted to make sure you guys didn't make the same mistake. And I hope we've ran true to that.
Absolutely. That manual is amazing. It is guidance that I don't require a call. Even though anytime I call, you guys pick up. Anytime I need assistance or guidance or I'm in over my head, you guys are always available.